Rediscover your past by digitizing your family's memories with LEGACYBOX. Watch until the end of this video to find out more about preserving your legacy, and then visit LEGACYBOX.com/recollection. By 1942, the United States had grown to roughly 134 million people, and we were fully at war. Ration books sat in kitchen drawers, and blackout curtains covered windows, while radios carried news from distant battlefields. It was a year of sacrifice, full of turning points that would permanently alter the course of history. January 1st unified the Allied cause when President FDR and Prime Minister Winston Churchill joined representatives of 26 nations in signing the Declaration by United Nations. They devoted their full military and economic resources to defeating the Axis powers. On January 16th, actress Carole Lombard and her mother were among 22 killed when TWA Flight 3 crashed into a mountain near Las Vegas. Lombard had just completed a successful war bond tour, raising millions for the war effort, and her death shocked both Hollywood and the American people. January 26 saw the first American troops arrive in Northern Ireland, marking the beginning of a sustained U.S. military presence in Europe. The arrival strengthened British defenses and signaled that American forces would soon play a direct role on the continent. February 8th ushered in daylight saving time, a change implemented year-round to conserve fuel and electricity. It was one of many small adjustments Americans made as the war reshaped daily routines. On February 10th, bandleader Glenn Miller received the first ever gold record for selling 1 million copies of Chattanooga Choo Choo. At a time when uncertainty filled headlines, swing music offered energy, optimism, and a sense of normalcy. February 18th brought tragedy off the coast of Newfoundland when the USS Truxtun and USS Pollux ran aground during a brutal storm. More than 200 sailors lost their lives in freezing conditions, a reminder that the Atlantic theater carried deadly risks even far from major battles. February 19th remains one of the most controversial decisions of the war, as Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066. The order authorized the forced relocation of over 110,000 Japanese Americans, most of them U.S. citizens, into internment camps. On February 22nd, General Douglas MacArthur was ordered to leave the Philippines as Japanese forces overwhelmed American defenses. Escaping to Australia, he famously vowed, "I shall return," a promise that would become central to Allied strategy in the Pacific. February 24th brought confusion and fear to Los Angeles during the so-called Battle of Los Angeles, when anti-aircraft batteries fired into the night sky at what proved to be a false alarm. March 18th quietly challenged baseball's color barrier when Jackie Robinson and Nate Moreland requested a tryout with the Chicago White Sox. Though no contract followed, the moment foreshadowed Robinson's eventual breakthrough into Major League Baseball 5 years later. April 18th marked a daring retaliation as Lieutenant Colonel James Doolittle led 16 B-25 bombers in a surprise raid on Tokyo. Though the physical damage was limited, the Doolittle raid delivered a powerful morale boost to Americans and forced Japan to rethink its defensive strategy. May 6th ended organized U.S. resistance in the Philippines when Lieutenant General Jonathan Wainwright surrendered remaining forces. Thousands of Americans and Filipino troops were taken prisoner, many enduring harsh captivity for years. On May 20th, the first African American was officially accepted into the U.S. Navy, in a role beyond the mess hall. Though still segregated, the move represented a gradual shift toward broader military inclusion. Beginning on June 4th and lasting 3 days, the Battle of Midway became a decisive turning point. In the Pacific, U.S. forces sank 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, crippling Japan's offensive power and shifting momentum in favor of the Allies. On June 12th, a 13-year-old girl from Amsterdam received a diary as a birthday gift. Within weeks, Anne Frank and her family went into hiding to escape Nazi persecution. Her writings in this book would later become one of the most important personal accounts of the Holocaust. On June 25th, Major General Dwight D. Eisenhower assumed command of U.S. forces in Europe. His leadership and diplomatic skill would soon place him at the center of Allied invasion planning. August 7th launched America's first major ground offensive of the war, when U.S. Marines landed on Guadalcanal. The campaign would become a brutal 6-month struggle in jungle terrain, marking a shift from defensive to offensive strategy in the Pacific. August 13th formally accelerated the Manhattan Project, placing General Leslie Groves in charge of the secret program to develop an atomic bomb. Massive facilities would soon rise in Tennessee, Washington State, and New Mexico under extraordinary secrecy. September 9th marked the first air attack on the U.S. mainland during the war, when a Japanese float plane dropped incendiary bombs over an Oregon forest. Though damage was minimal, the symbolic impact underscored that the war had reached American soil. October 23rd saw another air tragedy when Hollywood composer Ralph Ranger was killed in a mid-air collision near Palm Springs. His flight, American Airlines Flight 28, collided with a U.S. Army bomber. November 26th introduced audiences to the film Casablanca, starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. Set against the backdrop of war, its themes of sacrifice and love resonated deeply with wartime audiences. November 28th brought one of the deadliest nightclub disasters in U.S. history, when the Coconut Grove fire in Boston killed 491 people. The tragedy led to sweeping changes in fire safety regulations nationwide. December 2nd delivered a scientific milestone beneath the stands of Stagg Field in Chicago. This is where physicist Enrico Fermi achieved the first self-sustaining nuclear chain reaction. Following the success, a coded message was sent to Roosevelt, stating, "The Italian navigator has landed in the New World." And finally, on December 31st, the year ended without a true celebration, as the Times Square ball was not dropped due to wartime restrictions. Instead, a moment of silence marked midnight, a subdued close to one of the most intense years in American history. Recollection Road and LEGACYBOX both believe it's important to preserve the past. If you're like me, there's a box of your family's treasured home movies and photos tucked away somewhere, and LEGACYBOX can help you preserve them digitally. The process is a simple and safe solution for converting your home movies and photos to thumb drive or to the cloud. Just send in your legacy box filled with old VHS and camcorder tapes, film reels, and pictures, and get back digital copies that can be easily enjoyed, shared, and kept organized. It's that easy. LEGACYBOX is trusted by over 1 million people, and it's all done right here in the USA. Get started preserving your past today. Go to LEGACYBOX.com/recollection to get an incredible 55% off. Buy today to take advantage of this exclusive offer and send in your memories when you're ready. Go to LEGACYBOX.com/recollection to save 55% while supplies last. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and make sure to check the description of this video for links to pick up a t-shirt. Also, don't forget to visit our friends at Horn & Hardart to save 10% on your next order. Visit hornandhardart.com/recollection. Thank you to our loyal Patreon supporters listed here. Visit patreon.com/recollectionroad to join the club.